So Sandra, how did you hear about Louise?
I've been getting her emails. I've been familiar with her work for a long time because I also do some biofeedback. So that email came across at Christmas time, and my sister happened to be at my house, and I read to her the curriculum. She's like, "We need that." I'm like, if she's interested, I've got to say yes and let's go. So we said, let's go.
Okay. And so when you thought about the event based on what you read, what is the one thing that you were hoping to come away with?
Well, because of the trauma, there's just so much like brain fog and stuck feeling that my hope was just to be able to clear a lot of that, even just by being around it, because I'm familiar with energy work and how it really escalates out to a lot of people. You just learn a lot and all that. So.
And what did you feel would be different about your experience, particularly with Louise and her system, as opposed to other things you tried?
I think because it tied the brain-soul connection together, and I think that's important because we get so stuck in one area. It's mind, body, soul, but we're a whole, and just tying that all together. The whole thing just seemed like it would flow to do that, Like,
Help us understand why that's important. Like you have some education in the area, so how is that important to those that aren't familiar to tie those together?
Well, it's like the medical system. They treat you like a piece machine. Also, to a lot of us have been raised to feel that way, that we're fragmented, and we're not. We're whole. We're one, and we're so connected to others. So to have that intact in you, you can affect others in a much more positive way.
And you were one of the fortunate ones today that got on stage, and Louise got to work with you one-on-one.
Yes.
And tell us about that experience for you personally.
Well, it wasn't planned or anything, but the woman I was sitting beside knows Louise, and we had been chit-chatting a little bit, and she goes, "I think you need a clearing. I'm going to go tell her that." So before you knew it, I was up on stage. So I wasn't really prepared for it, and I really hesitated to share that trauma because I knew it was a lot for people. It was pretty deep. But
Right.
I've had a lot of people come up and thank me for sharing that because they're in a similar situation or know someone who is.
And tell us how different you felt after you had that integration as opposed to before it.
Definitely a lot lighter, and even more so, even like an hour afterwards or 2 hours, I just felt really more connected to myself. And the pain in my shoulder is pretty good. It's still there a little, but when I get triggered with that trauma, that's where it hits me, this whole area, like in the heart and the shoulder. And so my goal for the future would be to learn how to not get triggered or learn how to handle it better before I know there's going to be a trigger coming up if I happen to know.
Sure. And my last question for you, Sandra, is, you're in the industry, you're a practitioner. What would you tell other practitioners that how Louise's work can directly benefit and add value to what they're already doing?
I think even the little things like the mind gems and all these little things that you can send home with your client to help them to integrate and clear, even on a small scale, is really important because a lot of people just don't know that there is anything like this out there, So for the common person, just those little things that don't take time, and they would be able to say, yeah, I can do that.
Awesome.
So
Great. Thank you.